right, Greenleaf fans, I hope you all are ready for my first official cast interview with the talented Desiree Ross, aka Sophia Greenleaf. In this interview, we're going to talk about various things from what it was like when she first came aboard the Greenleaf cast, meeting Oprah for the first time, some funny stories from behind the scenes, Sophia's journey in the series, and what the future of Greenleaf looks like after the final season comes to a close. So I hope you all enjoy this. And before going any further, if you are new to the channel, make sure you give this video a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button and bell notification icon. That way you don't miss out whenever I post any content on the channel. And also, I have links to Desiree's various social media platforms in the top comment below: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, as well as a link to a musical competition she's holding. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get to know Sophia Greenleaf a little bit, and then we'll go into the interview with Desiree Ross.
I think Sophia has evolved in many different ways, from not really knowing about God, only going to church on Christmas and Easter Day, to really being like gung-ho for God. And even when she kind of strays away,
I don't even know if I believe in God anymore.
she knows what she believes even if she doesn't want to believe it.
I just want to not know God's real so I can just live my life.
She tries to be mature, more mature than her age.
Okay, hello, hi.
Oh, thank goodness this thing worked.
It works.
Yeah, because I hit the link. It was 3 o'clock. I'm like, okay, I'm waiting for this thing to go. And then it started lagging. I'm like, okay, wow, this is just what I need for my first Zoom meeting to go through. But microphones hooked up. It sounds like the sound quality is pretty good.
Yay.
Thank goodness for that. And I do see where it says recording in the top left-hand corner. So it looks like we're all set to go. But let me just say I'm excited about this because, well, I jumped aboard the Greenleaf train last year after a lot of begging from viewers and my mom to watch it back during season 1.
Yes. Yeah, it's pretty good. I'm lucky to be on there.
Oh, well, I appreciate that because I know for the longest time, whenever I've talked with cast members from any of the shows I review, to have them come to me sometimes was just mind-boggling because to me, you all are like, you know, celebrities or stars. So for somebody to like retweet or just say, hey, I saw this video and I loved it, that means the world to me.
Yes. Well, I am so happy to be talking with you. I'm so happy. I'm excited, and I think it's gonna be great. We're gonna have a great conversation.
I hope so, because I know your mother and I, we talked for almost an hour on Friday, and I'm just like, okay, this is what I'm talking about. If I had a great time with her, then I know talking with somebody who was on the actual show should be even next level. So, okay, so I sent over the questions last night. I think I had about 7, and your mom actually gave me some subjects to bring up for later on in discussion. But for the beginning, we could just start out with an introduction for yourself. If you could just tell everyone your name as well as your role on Greenleaf. And the first question, what inspired you to pursue acting?
Hey, my name is Desiree Ross. I play Sophia on Greenleaf. And what inspired me to start acting was, well, I was 3 years old. And I told my mom, I said, how do you get inside the TV? And she was like, well, you know, they have to go to set and they record it and you need an agent. And I said, okay, well then find me an agent at 3. And basically my mom was like, okay. And she kind of rode that out for a second to see whether or not I would still carry interest in acting after a while. Because, you know, what kind of 3-year-old knows what they want to do for the rest of their life? Right at 3, that's kind of ridiculous. So we rode that train out for a while, and then finally when I was 9, an agency moved in down the street from my house, and I got started with them. And basically by the time I was going into 6th grade, I had my manager, and then I had an agent or 2. And then by the time I was in 8th or ninth grade, I had like 3 agents and my manager, and when I was 16, I booked Greenleaf. But basically, that kind of sums up how I wanted to become an actor. It doesn't feel like, or what inspired me to start acting. It never was like a thing where it was like something. I think I was watching a kid's show on Disney, just wondering, how do these people do the same thing over and over and over again the exact same way every single time? I had no idea of the concept of like people are behind the screen, like, they're being recorded,
Yeah.
and all this hard work goes into it. I had no idea. I just kind of thought that there were people literally like dancing around in my television. And I think just seeing them do what they do and pretending on TV, it seemed cool. I knew that being on TV was something more than just people on a TV screen, and it was very intriguing to me at such a young age, and it's kind of just been what I've wanted to do literally my whole life, which is insane because, I hear about people being unsure of what they want to do, and I cannot say the same thing because I've been sure since I was like able to speak.
That's incredible.
Yeah, I'm actually really fortunate for that because it's like, this is what I have to make work. Just because it's been the one thing that I've been passionate about since I was a tiny little munchkin.
I'm just trying to fathom the fact that at age 3, not only did you have, I guess, what you believe to be a sense of, mommy, I want to do this, but the fact that your mother jumped aboard the train and supported that, just to see if it was something that was interest that would kind of fade away, kind of like ooh, I want this toy, but then like a few days later, something else comes along and you want to pick up something else. And then when you're listing out at, hey, an agency moved down the street, then I had like 1 manager, then 3. And I was thinking like it was hard enough to get my mom to buy me more than 1 Power Ranger action figure. So to hear about your interest in something that at age 3 you fully didn't understand, but you knew that's something you wanted, I find that very inspiring because, as you said, a lot of people today are just in a cloud of uncertainty in what they're doing. Most people are working a job to make their ends meet, or, to pay off student debt, whatever the case may be, but to actually be doing something that you love to do, that you've wanted from since the young age of 3. That's incredible.
Yeah, and it takes a lot of hard work once you know like where you want to be. It just takes, especially with acting, it's such a competitive I guess field. It's a lot of people wanting to make it, but only room for so very many people.
Oh yeah, and I bet the tough skin aspect too.
You have to have a tough skin, and not only that, but there's a lot of stuff that you're just not right for. They're always looking for a certain type of person, and either you fit the mold or you don't. It's kind of like, I'm just so blessed that that God has provided me with the opportunity to have been a part of what I have been. And I'm blessed that he put this profession right, in my lap at the age of 3, because it's like, I just know it's within my purpose to fulfill this at this point. Because there's been times that I've tried to quit and it just did not work out like that. Like every time I've tried to quit, I think I've ended up with another role. And it's kind of like God just coming back in my face, like, you need to focus on this. This is what I need you to be doing. I need you to be, speaking for me. I need you to be just having a platform, I guess, is great. It's great to just be able to, like, I don't know, share my faith, I guess. But I just feel like I'm really blessed. So I'm just letting you know, I'm not gonna not talk about my faith.
Oh no, I welcome it. I welcome that. I was growing up in a Baptist church, I'm from a very small town in Clover, Virginia, which is in the middle of nowhere. Now I live in Lynchburg because I went to college at Liberty University. Then I worked there for about 3 years in the call center. And then my YouTube channel kicked off, and that's what I've been doing for the past 3 years, but I'm still in town. So I am more than open to talk about faith as well as, and you're on Greenleaf, so faith would come up in
It
one
comes
way,
up.
shape, or
It
another.
comes up. Yes. No, I mean, I just feel incredibly blessed. But yeah, that's so cool. I'm so proud of you.
Oh, well, thank you. I had to make an analogy there from the Bible, because when you were talking about how there were moments where you wanted to quit, but then another role would pop up. In a sense, that kind of reminded me of Jonah. God pointed him in one direction. Hey, I want you to be like my mouthpiece for Nineveh. And he kept saying no. And then even when he's like, hey, I know you want me to take, a donkey and a cart to the west, I'm going to hop on a boat and go to the east. And then we all know what ended up happening with the big fish. And he ended up doing what he was called to do, fulfilling his purpose despite how he felt about it. So that is very inspiring.
And you know what? Now that you bring that up, it just brought back like this other thing that I remembered. Like, I remember I was at a church camp, and I was one of the camp counselors for the youth. And I just remember having like almost like this epiphany, like God, why would you put me in such a field where it feels like everything that goes on behind the scenes, not that it seems unholy, but it's like a lot of like idolization and a lot of, people hear stories about all of how you can get caught up. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
There's
yes.
so many different ways to get caught up in this field, and maintaining a level head, a humble head. It's not necessarily the easiest thing. And I just remember being in church camp questioning, like, God, what's the point in this? Like, why would you stick me in this area? Why couldn't I like be called to like singing in church or like this or that or the other, which I'm sure I could do. But at the same time, I feel like every time I try and step away from this field, it comes back to me. And it's like, and it's always after with like, there's always some kind of preface to it where I've been praying a lot. I've been like excessively, I've gone on mission trips and come back and got a role. Like I was on a mission trip, but right before I got Greenleaf, and I was praying like, God, I don't know what to do. I don't know if this is the right path for me. I don't know how I'm supposed to do this. I don't know how I'm supposed to keep up with this. Like because it's getting hard, it's hard for me to book a role right now. Like it's hard, and that's what I was saying. And I prayed with one of my friends on this mission trip, and I went back inside, and I had an offer from like Nickelodeon, and then I had the audition for Greenleaf in my email. And I ended up with contracts kind of for both, literally a week after I said that prayer. So that's just kind of one example of one of the times. Every time I've tried to walk away, something like that has happened, where I've either come back from church camp and booked a movie, or I'm on a mission. It's always right after I'm serving God that something happens. It's right around that time where I also want to quit. I'm serving God. I want to quit acting. And God put something in my lap. And it's like the craziest, it feels like such a crazy story, because to me it's like unfathomable, just thinking of how everything played out so perfectly, and the way God has shown himself in those different situations, and the way it totally makes up how I feel called to this. But I was like, God, why would you stick me in such a field where everything feels so much more difficult to maintain your vision and to maintain a good, healthy relationship with you, and just, things like that. And I guess the meaning of it for me is just, I'm supposed to be a servant of the Lord. And so it is my job to not fall in like the rest of the crowd. It's my job to use my voice and use my platform. And that's exactly what I intend to do. So that's kind of like the long way of saying everything, but I think I got the point across.
I'm just blown away because there were so many gems in what you were saying. And no, don't feel bad about if you feel like it's a long-winded answer. Trust and believe. I understand the feeling, because sometimes when it's like your story, your testimony, it's like they always say, you let the Spirit lead you. But just so many things to take away from that. For first of all, you talked about how it seemed unfathomable that God, always had a role ready for you. And it just reminded me of, God had a ram in a bush when Abraham was going to sacrifice Isaac. And then when you think about the Israelites in the desert for 40 years, if I'm not mistaken, and all those mornings where they didn't know what they would eat, what they would drink, and the Lord provided them with the manna from the sky and then the water from the rock. And it's those moments where you feel like God has placed you somewhere and you have faith, but the human nature of it is, and that's why I tell some people it's difficult to say this, because if you're a person who says you love and trust God, not to question your faith and belief, spiritually, you fully trust God, but on the same token, it's the human factor. It's that curiosity, because we trust God with our hearts and mind, but the human side of us is we look at things, with the human, eyes. It's like, okay, I don't know about you, but I'm an overthinker. So it's kind of hard for me to figure out how to make ends meet sometimes, but God provides to once again just show that, hey, you know what? I'm bigger than this problem you're facing right now. I'm bigger than this valley I placed you in. I always try to live by this credo every day. I'm still breathing because there's a reason for me to still be here. And God is going to provide regardless of how impossible the situation is. And then another thing to what you said, when you question God, God, why did you put me in? And I was going to bring up the mission trips as well and working with children's ministry. God, why would you put me in this location where I'm like the odd man, the odd woman out? I kind of stick out like a sore thumb. It's like there's no one around who's like-minded to me. There's no one who seems to have the same faith. But you have to remember in the Bible, like the priest and the upper spiritual leaders, they were like, why is Jesus hanging with the common folk, the sinners, the ones who have stolen, who are sick and ill? But those who are not sick don't need a doctor. Those who are called are going to stand out like a sore thumb, especially in the world we live in today. So your journey of faith truly led you to where you are today. And like you were saying before, being able to be on a show, because we all serve in different ways. And we will talk about Greenleaf. I just didn't expect our intro discussion to be so in depth before we even touch the Greenleaf show itself. But we are getting there. So I guess you could say I really love what you were saying, because that takes me back to the campus days of college, where being at Liberty, they always use the analogy of being in like a Christian bubble. So when I would go home for like spring break or over a holiday, because I live 55 minutes away from Lynchburg. So, the trip isn't that long. But there was a massive difference between being on a Christian campus versus being in my hometown. And you just realize you're not where you're meant to be. So the calling sometimes leads to confusion, but the fact that God's going to provide, so long as you have the faith that you're doing what you're called to do, everything's going to be all right. So I am just very inspired by your, I guess you could say, your origin at age 3 to where you are right now.
Yeah, thank you. That's my goal, to inspire.
That's amazing.
I think that's what my purpose is, I guess. Just, yeah.
Okay, well, you answered about 4 of the questions right off the rip. So my next question is this. When it came to because I believe you said you had a role for Nickelodeon and then the role for Greenleaf. Do you recall what Nickelodeon project you would have potentially been a part of?
You know what? I don't recall the exact name, but I do know I would have been playing a fairy.
Live action or animated?
Live action. I would have
What
been
show
a
had a
fairy.
fairy? See, I'm a kid at heart, so some of these shows I kind of like, recall watching previews for. I cannot think of what live action had a fairy, but I'm thinking like I was born in 91, so obviously my Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network, Disney era might be slightly different from yours.
It might be slightly. I
Yeah.
mean, let's see. You ever watch That's a Raven?
You nasty?
Yeah, nasty. That's good. That's good. Yeah, I like Proud Family. Yeah,
Okay, I want to contain myself. I want to try to remain professional because this is opening up a can of worms. I mean, my favorite episode, because when Disney Plus came out, let me tell you, I've been binging those shows. The Alicia Keys episode where it was the talent show.
oh my God.
And it's like Randy Jackson, even though he maybe had like 3 combined minutes of screen time, my favorite part of that episode is like, I'm the real Randy Jackson. That was hilarious. And then him flirting with Alicia Keys the entire time had me dying. It's like, Alicia, what does Randy have to do to get a date with you? What does Randy got to do to get a date with you? Woo! I lost it. I was done.
Oh my God.
I was done.
I'm gonna have to rewatch everything.
Yeah, because I know they're coming out with the new series, right?
What?
Okay,
No.
first of all, I know you work in an acting game, so it's like I gotta be like, I can't say like you didn't know this, but yes, they are making new. Well, actually, they've already created new Proud Family content. It just hasn't come out yet.
That's wild.
It is Tommy Davidson announced it back sometime last year at an award show, like on a red carpet, and Disney Plus confirmed there are more. I forgot. Well, I think it's called the Proud Family Bigger and Louder or something, but I think the characters will be aged up a couple of years. It's not going to be like a 5-year time jump or anything. Sugar Mama's still alive, because I remember when they announced it, people were like, Sugar Mama better not be dead. So all the voice cast, Orlando, Kyla, Tommy, all of them are coming back. So I am looking forward to that.
Oh, I'm hyped, bro. I'm hyped.
Because I have an older sister, so yeah, she watched all that stuff. The That's So Raven, and then Lizzie McGuire, Even Stevens.
Lizzie McGuire. Oh.
I got it. Oh, okay. I know you know Lizzie.
Hold on, because now this is bringing back so much childhood memories. Malcolm in the Middle.
Yes. I mean, I'm a kid at heart, like I said, so I remember one of my hidden talents is being able to like sing random kid theme songs by heart because I grew up on it.
I feel like the one I know the most is SpongeBob.
I'm not going to lie. From when did the show come out? Was it 99, I believe? Because I know it like came out right at the end of the century, right before the new millennium. It was like, yeah, SpongeBob.
Probably because I was born in 99, so that sounds about right. It's been around my whole entire life. I kid you not.
Oh, wow. Oh, dang, 99. Okay. Yeah, that actually makes sense. 99. I will watch from the beginning to 2006. After that, it just got too weird.
It got too weird. I'm not gonna lie. It was good when I was a kid, and I'll watch reruns.
I will watch reruns in a heartbeat. The early episodes.
The early episodes, the better. The earlier, the better, basically. That's when I feel like everything, like when it's fresh, it just feels so good.
That could be said about a lot of projects, whether it be a musical artist, a comedian, a television show, an actor, whatever the case may be. Because when you first start out, you're hungry for the success. It's like you're putting your best foot forward. You're doing what you can to get the ratings. But as soon as you become like a crossover sensation, or you are consistently doing well with ratings, album sales, or whatnot, the hunger isn't there as much.
You feel like you've already attained it.
Exactly. You're just pumping out content to do it like SpongeBob should have ended a long time ago. The Fairly Odd Parents, even though it ended, it went on too long. That show, my goodness.
That too, Fairly Odd Parents, yeah.
what was it, Chloe, when she came on there, the show was like, come on, fam. Chip Skylark and all that stuff from the early days. That was the good stuff. And then SpongeBob, I mean, to be fair, it is the face of Nickelodeon. So I can't fault them for that. But in terms of me being a viewer, nope, I watch the reruns. And my nephew, he's 10, so I remember him loving like Paw Patrol and whatnot, Teen Titans Go. I grew up with the original cartoon Teen Titans, but when it came to Greenleaf, what was it about that initial script read that made you go, you know what? I think I would be a great Sophia.
I think I read it. First of all, I looked at the cast and I was like, wow, they really look like me. And then reading the script, I was like, how cool is it that I get to be on a show that's oriented around the Christian faith? And then I think just reading the script the first time, I was kind of just really shook. Like, there were so many different pieces to put together inside of my head. I was trying to figure it out. Sorry, my mom's trying to get my dog so that you don't hear her paws just click-clacking on the floor.
I'm a dog person, so I adore dogs, so I don't mind at all.
It's my little Doberman, my Dober baby.
Now, when you say little and baby, do you say that in an endearing way, or is the dog actually kind of big?
No, she's big. She's big.
Oh, okay.
Actually, she has a play date with another Doberman today, too, after our calls, so we're excited for that. But yeah, I got her out the room. But yeah, I guess, let's see. Initially, I was like, there's so many different pieces. So basically, what intrigued me about Greenleaf was how there were just so many things left to learn after the first episode. Like, I was so confused. So our first meeting reading the script, Oprah was there, Craig Wright, our creator, was there, and that was the day Oprah told me that my hair smelled good, and I've been trying to maintain that amount of freshness in my hair ever since.
Can you take a moment to say Oprah paying you a compliment and how that affects your life?
How it affected my life? Yes. I've been making sure my hair is on point with how it smells ever since that one moment. Because you never know when you're going to run into Oprah again. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Oh, no. That was like the best moment ever. Because I didn't even expect to see Oprah that day. And then I walk into the room and I'm like, oh, crap. Oh, crap. Oprah is here.
What was that like? I mean, people ask me all the time, like, because they know me from reviewing like mostly Tyler Perry shows. It's like, you know what if Tyler Perry ever hit you up, or what if Tyler Perry was ever in the same room? What would that be like? It's like I couldn't even begin to describe my feelings and thoughts in that moment. If there was anything I could use as a comparison, it's when Carlton met Oprah on The Fresh Prince, and then he started dancing when he heard the Oprah theme music.
Yes. Okay, wait. That's exactly how I felt meeting Oprah. Exactly. I wanted to jump up and down. I wanted to scream. I wanted to shout from the rooftops, Oprah! And oh my God, it was the most hype moment ever. And then every time after I saw that, it's like, oh yeah, that's fam. Like, that's family. But the initial first time ever meeting Oprah, insane. I feel like for everybody, it is a moment. But how could it not be? Like, it's Oprah. Then, I don't know. It's wild. But yeah. So, Greenleaf. Okay.
I mean, it's hard to come back from Oprah. I mean, literally, it's like if I ever met a cast member from any of these shows, or even a singer, that's kind of my worst fear. If I met a singer and I would try to be professional, but I'd be nervous and I'll be doing like a messed up medley of their hits, trying to impress them. Yeah, that'll be awesome. Yes. But Greenleaf.
I get so nervous. Like, I'm not supposed to be like at this point, I'm not really like too starstruck, but it still makes me nervous being in the room with certain people. And it's like that nervousness just makes me act really awkward. And it's sometimes it's not so much of a fun experience
No.
because it gives me such bad anxiety because I'm like, oh my God, this person, like, I know that they're all, obviously we're all regular people, but it's still weird for me. Like, I have to act a certain way because, like, I'm not at a certain level, but, like, there's so many expectations, like, you know, so for how I'm supposed to act, how I'm supposed to, like, handle myself around other people. But sometimes there's the kid in me that just wants to jump up and down.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
not gonna lie.
I mean, Lynn Whitfield, Keith David, I mean, I can't, I mean, these are people I've seen since I was a child.
Yes.
So I can't fathom, like, being in the same, let alone a scene with them.
Oh, yeah. No, it's like, at first, it was extremely intimidating. I was really nervous going into work because I was like, oh my God, like, what if I mess up? I have all of these, like, totally amazing other co-stars, and they've been in the game since literally forever. And I was like, you know, I don't know how I'm gonna live up to these standards or live up to the opportunity because these people around me, they're so amazing, but I'm a little scared.
You know what, though? You know what? In those moments, and again, I might be giving advice here, but I can't say if I were in that situation, I wouldn't act the way you are. You have
please, go ahead.
Your own self-worth. Like, you were chosen for a reason. You were chosen for your talent to stand alongside them. So I understand what you mean by the expectation.
Yeah, just sometimes I remember, like, at first it felt really overwhelming. But then as soon as I started to get to know everybody and they just became like family to me, like it was like, okay. Like, this is fine. And they're here so that I can learn from them. And that is what my job is, to be Sophia. My job is to stay on top of my game. Do it. Stick to that and just do it. As long as I we're gonna keep making magic.
Think you'll ever get married?
It's not on my to-do list.
Darius?
Is just a friend?
With benefits.
Excuse me?
I'm not the one sneaking in at 5 in the morning, tiptoeing around.
No. I was trying not to wake you up. And we're not sleeping together. Not that that's any of your business.
So what do you two do all night?
Well, we talk, mostly.
Yeah, about what?
Honestly?
Yeah.
Were some of the funny and memorable behind-the-scenes moments, but you just rattled off so many, you know, from the meeting with Oprah to interacting with such an elaborate cast.
Yes.
And pretty much trying to find your own footing amongst them.
I think if I did have to name two of the most memorable moments, it would be one, I decided not to walk at my graduation. So basically they threw me a graduation on set. Oprah was there. The person who plays Bart Simpson, Nancy Cartwright, she was there because she came to stop through and see me on set. And it was super fun. I basically was class president, valedictorian, most likely to succeed, best dressed, because it was just me graduating.
I was about to ask, was Oprah your commencement speaker?
Oh my God, I wish. She happened to be there for something. And so we were kind of just like, let's do it the day Oprah's there. Well, I guess that's what they were thinking. But yeah, she was there. So she tried to like do like an Instagram post and she let me hold her phone. And I was like, wow, this is so much power in my hands.
The pressure, the Oprah's phone.
The pressure. I had the pressure of holding Oprah's phone. Like, can't crack it. That's for sure.
I feel like that would be. I would just. It would be like Pandora's box or Eve eating from the tree of life to drop that phone. I couldn't even know.
Right.
That's too much.
Too much pressure. But my second most favorite moment was Oprah recorded a video. I had asked her to record a video because it was my great grandmother who just recently passed. it was her 100th birthday, like 4 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, and Oprah sent her a 100th birthday, happy birthday video.
Whoa.
Yeah, if my computer was still on, I would play it so that you guys could hear the audio. But those are two of my most favorite moments from set and just from working on Greenleaf. So I've had some pretty fun moments. And every time we have like a rap party or anything, and then you can see how everybody really gets down and not just, you see how they act when they get an open bar and some good music. You can tell which ones really get down. So I think that's always really fun. But yeah.
I mean, blessed is just I mean, that's all I can say. From holding Oprah's phone, I mean, I'm just still in awe of that.
Right.
Oh, wow. Okay.
She was like trying to take a picture of me to put on her Instagram, and she passed me her phone and was like, "How do I post this?" And I was like, "Oh, it's so cute."
That reminds me of last week's episode of Greenleaf. I think it was Zora. I think Bishop handed or told Zora, now make sure this is on the Insta Zoom. It's Instagram. That's hilarious. But okay, so we opened the floodgates or opened the doors on the Greenleaf discussion, and I saw on social media they posted some of your favorite moments from the series, and I mean there's so many to talk about, but I'm going to try to pull up the post myself real quick because I was actually—
I'm trying to pull it up too.
Yeah, I was rewatching some scenes before this meeting, and I was just blown away by the fact that there's so many to choose from. I mean, at least they asked you what were some of your favorite, like, Sophia moments, because I feel like if I were asked that question, I don't even know if any scenes, you know, like hypothetically, if I were a character, because I don't know if I would name any scenes that I would be in, because there are so many breathtaking scenes from the other characters. Because I was thinking about season 4 last year, and I think my take on Sophia was almost like Sophia and Zora kind of traded places, if you will.
In a sense, yeah.
Yeah, because I thought about like Zora becoming more of the, I guess you could say, the church girl, while Sophia was a bit more of the rebel.
The rebel, yep.
Yeah.
Yep, they are kind of switching places.
But I felt so bad for Sophia, though, because I remember, if memory serves, she was heading to college, but I think she came back on 1 or 2 separate occasions. And I want to say it was
her brother.
Oh, AJ, yeah, for AJ. But I think it was like a dinner party at the Greenleaf estate where I believe Bishop and May announced they were getting married. And Sophia was there, but she felt completely— it was the night she met Dante. I know that.
Yes. Because
I can relate to that on so many levels where you go somewhere and it's like, you're known as being associated with someone else. Oh, you're so-and-so's little girl, or somebody calls you, but it's the wrong name, and you just feel completely out of place. And I felt so bad for Sophia in that moment, because it's almost like Sophia was trying to kind of start her own journey outside of the family, you know, going to college. But you come back for your family, but when you come back, you feel completely isolated. Like you don't belong.
I feel iced out, and that draws me into Dante. That does. And it makes me just want to cling to someone who just knows me as me, someone who's meeting me for the first time. It's not really necessarily all about my family. Like, finally, I feel like my own person, and this person is interested in me for me, and I know he's getting out of a relationship, and that's cool, but I want to see where this goes. And that's kind of Sophia's like mentality, or at least like my mentality for Sophia.
Remember when Jacob knocked out Isaiah, when Sophia told him that, hey, he hit Zora?
Yep.
that was kind of my mood towards Dante last week.
Ooh, yes.
Because
Because Dante had his old girl over. Like, why?
here was my problem with this, and as a man, I feel bad for saying this, but it's moments like this that just show how men we're trash. You're gonna tell Sophia. Well, I mean, if I believe Sophia said, "No, I'll come over instead of you picking me up," because what was it? Nikki was still staying with Zora.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
and you decided, hey, I'm going to come over at like 6 o'clock. So
Yeah.
Sophia goes over there, and again, men were trash. Nikki comes over, and again in my head canon, because I come up with all these theories when I'm doing talking about the shows. I'm thinking like maybe Sophia, she's punctual. She'll probably show up like at maybe 5:55 or 6 o'clock on the dot. I don't know.
Yeah, she's pretty punctual.
Yeah, I'm a sucker for a time slot. You know, like I'm going to be here or I'm going to leave early to make sure I get there on time. So she gets there. Not only is Nikki there, but Dante doesn't even bother to call or text to just let Sophia know, hey, there's a bomb, that's, ticking at my crib right now. And then Sophia, when I tell you I saw grace in Sophia in that moment.
Yep.
I mean, and I think I don't want to mess up the line because you delivered it so well. It's like, I'm not mad, but I'm hurt.
Yeah, she says, I'm not mad, but I am hurt. These things, they always take time or something along that. These things don't, she said something about it doesn't end that fast.
Yep.
These things always take time.
And my attitude is choose me or lose me. If you have second thoughts about me, that means there's a chance I'll be your second. And unless I'm your first, I'm out of here. My thing is,
no, that is my whole mentality. I got to be top priority. I got to be number one. And if I'm not, if you can't prove to me that that's what I am, I'm out of here.
Exactly. My biggest thing, given what's going on now, the fact that Sophia burned gas to go all the way over for nothing. That was my biggest issue.
Tell him, sir. Tell him how she wasted her gas going all the way across town. And then she sat in traffic on the way back. And then she had a wedding. So tell me how she drove all the way over there, wasted all her gas to find out that he's with his ex, and then ends up showing up late to her family function where her grandparents are supposed to be getting married, all for ain't crap nothing boy.
And the fact that you have to put a smile on like Ronald McDonald put a smile on to go to your grandparents' wedding. A reunion of the two foundational members of the Greenleaf family. You have to get in the mood for a happy occasion with them after you just had your heart stomped on by your man potentially getting back. But
she just goes on and acts like nothing happened. Like it is what it is.
Men are trash. We're trash. It's just ridiculous. That scene had me going. So it was so hard to watch because of the fact that it's almost like Sophia and Zora's relationship, which was still shaky after the whole Isaiah saga, if you will. And then you have, and if memory serves, Zora was attracted to Dante because Jacob was kind of like, his mentor / personal pastor, if you will.
Yes.
And then Nikki swooped in there and stole her man. And then they got into a situation. And then Dante comes to pick up his stuff, I believe, and then that's when Sophia met him.
Yep, and then he's in the Sophia, and it's raps.
Yeah,
but not really. It's like she takes him, but she don't really take him. Nikki is like, that's not happening, bro.
And speaking of raps, I felt like Sophia was about to wrap some bandages around her arms and wrists when Sophia and Nikki almost threw hands in the club.
Oh, it gets even better. It's this season, popping, bro. Let me just tell you something. This season is gonna have everybody rocked for a second, bro.
Okay, and no, I will not ask for spoilers. That's the one thing I don't do because on my channel, when I do reviews, I break down stuff and come up with theories. But
Yeah.
here's one thing I have to ask because
Yeah.
I feel like it was in my opinion, I think it was an open-ended scene. Now, last season, Sophia goes over to Dante's and they're cuddled up, and the subject was brought up. I believe Sophia was saying how she was saving herself for marriage, and Dante said, "Hey, that's cool. We don't have to go any further than you're comfortable with."
And she says, no, I want to.
So I don't think this is a spoiler, but I'm just going to ask: did those two characters have sex?
Yes, they did.
Okay, that's confirmation. Now here's the subject that I want to say about the last time I checked, about 77% of my channel is female. So when I did a video talking about that in a theory I had, people were like, Jeremy, you don't know your anatomy. Sophia had the surgery. It was her ovaries that had to be removed, correct?
It was, but that doesn't stop her from doing the deed. I mean, she definitely did that thing.
Okay.
Unfortunately enough to say, she cannot have babies. And I think because of the way everything turned out from season 3 to 5 or season 3 to 4 between them, between the both of those, yeah, she had healed, I guess, and felt that God was no longer so much of a priority to her.
That hurt to watch. It really did.
And so she decided to give away her virginity because out of spite just a little bit and out of, I really like this boy, God's not doing much to help me, I can't even get pregnant, so what's stopping me?
And like, you felt isolated, and you felt, well, Sophia felt isolated too.
Iced out from the family, from God, from everybody. And here's this boy trying to show her love, and it's coming in this form, and she'll take whatever she can get.
Okay, here's my theory that people just could not accept. Now, all I said was, do you think there is a possibility that if those two characters did indeed have sex, Sophia could wind up pregnant? And that's where people went off, Jeremy, she had the surgery, those parts were removed. And I said, this is a show about faith in God. All I'm saying is, if Sarah could have children at the age of like 80 and 90 and have Isaac, all I'm saying is it's possible, because number one, the Lord can do anything. And number two, well, the writers can write in whatever they want. And number three, they could do a life cycle thing, like a cycle where Grace got pregnant by Noah.
Yes.
And, that was like a surprise thing for her. So imagine Sophia in her rebellious, I'm going to turn away from God because I'm angry and give up my virginity and I feel isolated from my family, has sex once, and then possibly ends up in a Grace AJ situation with this child. I know it's ridiculous, but dang it, the channel goes all over the place, but I back it up with facts. And
you know what? You do.
Yeah.
And I ain't mad at it. I feel like that definitely could have been a thing. It could very well be a thing. I think that's what a lot of us thought was going to happen. So, I mean, kind of, I guess we haven't gotten there yet, but.
I mean, there is a spinoff coming up. So, I mean, hey.
There is a spinoff coming up. But yeah, I feel like a lot of us kind of expected everything to go that way too. But there's so much going on in this show. It's hard for even me to keep up with.
Oh, I can believe it. I mean, when I usually if I'm watching live, I need to make a better habit of watching live, because sometimes they release clips and little pictures from the episode itself, and sometimes I can actually look at that and then garner like a little theory from it and do a video quickly, during the morning or afternoon. And sometimes I work myself so hard. Like last Tuesday, it was 23 videos. I had like 12 If Loving You Is Wrong videos, and then like 13 Greenleaf videos from that extended trailer they put out.
Wow.
Yeah, so sometimes I get wiped out and people are like, did you watch it live? I posted a lot. I will watch it in the
I
morning.
posted a lot.
I will get the review up as soon as possible. But Greenleaf is a show that keeps moving. What I mean by that is there's barely a moment to take a breath because there's so much going on.
Right.
And that's what keeps it intriguing, because this first episode of the final season, when I tell you I was very pleased, because they did a great job of picking up where they left off and setting up,
Yeah.
and like Jacob going around getting info on the will and meeting Alexa again, and Rick Fox coming back. I can't imagine being in the room with Rick Fox.
Oh my God. Rick Fox. Oh, that's my TV stepdaddy. He's great. He's great.
I can imagine that. I mean, I've seen him in I think I remember him most from The Game, season 3 on the CW. He was Tasha Mack's love interest for a while.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I saw him on Shameless a while back when he first started playing my my other daddy, and and when I tell you this scene, you just got Rick Fox and Shameless. It was funny. I think he was all into like drugs and like fiending, and no. Oh man, I was like, this is I was like, wow, I was not expecting this while watching Shameless, to see the person who played my TV mom's boyfriend on Shameless just acting so crazy.
Well, that's the world of acting, I guess.
It is. You never know.
Okay, and speaking of acting, I got to give a shout out to the talented Miss Lynn Whitfield, who, in my opinion, is quite arguably, I dare say Veronica Harrington from The Haves and the Have-Nots is a top contender as well. Some of the best one-liners in television that I've ever heard.
Oh, she has some great one-liners. Like one time she said, "I'd rather eat glass," and that stuck with me.
I just love her demeanor, because I feel like we all have an auntie or a mother or a grandmother who acts just like that.
Something. Oh no.
But Sophia's your top 5 Sophia moments. And I think when you went to go meet AJ at the apartment, I think when he opened the door, he looked at you, he's like, what, you selling cookies or something?
Oh yeah.
I just love that.
And she said, "I see you have our mother's sense of humor."
Yep. I just like the fact that Sophia kind of looks like, yeah, that's really her journey in season 4, in my opinion. It's almost like she's a bit of an out. It's almost like she doesn't fit in. But the thing is, she's going to try to bring in those who feel like outsiders as well. So in a way, that's kind of how Sophia and AJ clicked.
Yeah. It's like, I'm not really a part of this that much. You're not really a part of this that much. Let's be not a part of it together.
Exactly. But the question is, is that really AJ? I mean, the guy at the grave, I mean, he has the Greenleaf features as well. So
yeah, it could very well be. We're going to find out.
Oh, trust me, I cannot wait. Here's the thing, though. That video I did about the guy at the grave, I think that was like my first, if not one of my first Greenleaf videos to hit like over 100,000 views in a matter of days. And I was like, wow. Because my side form of income outside of YouTube is selling stuff on eBay. And I go to the post office, the mail off. Obviously, I don't do it anymore. I do USPS pickup. And the lady there, obviously, if you go there like every week with a lot of stuff, they will know your name. And the women who work there, they watch Greenleaf and the Tyler Perry shows, and they heard about my channel. So sometimes I will go to the post office, and we would talk like 45 minutes, and they told me they saw the video. And I feel like that was the Greenleaf video that had me going, okay, I got to keep this show on my list. And I was just blown away by the support. I think I think the name of the character is Carden, who's kind of like the assistant / secretary to the church.
Yes, she's so Siobhan is her real name, and she is hilarious.
She was the first cast member to ever contact me. I think she saw the video I did about is Carden the key to the Greenleafs getting to church back, and she told me she loved the video. When I tell you, my jaw dropped. My God.
Oh,
and
I love her.
Oh, I can tell she has an amazing demeanor. I love her her dry wit. Like her interactions with Judy were hilarious.
Judy, yes. I love it when she interacts with Judy because you can just tell she is unbothered, don't care, don't need to be bothered. She just out.
Exactly, and I feel like that's what makes her character so well. And then the fact that she was kind of like the informant for Lady May and Bishop. Like anytime something went down, oh yeah, that's right. Bishop got her to do some digging to find out about Connie taking bribes from H&H.
Right.
Wow. So
that was a lot.
Okay, because I know we're talking Sophia, but we can't talk Sophia without talking about the other family members. Now, and again, not a spoiler, but I just want to ask for your opinion or your interpretation on the scene. Now, I love the fact that Lady May is like, fasting and praying about the church and what the next move should be. So her pretty much snapping at every character last week, I was dead. That was hilarious. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Oh, can you hear me?
Hello?
Hello?
Yes, I can.
Okay, good,
My dog's
good.
going nuts upstairs.
Oh, okay. I was saying, Lady May was snapping on everyone last week because she was going through her prayers and fast, and she was just frustrated with everyone.
She was probably hangry.
Oh, I trust and believe. I mean, Sunday. Well, technically it would have been Monday, but yeah, I would have been hungry too. Now, here's my question for you.
Yes.
She told Aaron, "Hey, between me and you, I don't want the church back."
Mm-hmm.
Do you think she was saying that because she honestly felt it was time to move on? Or was she bitter because she was dropped from the head pastor position and replaced with Phil?
I think she genuinely wants to move on. I think she feels like if this is what God wants, just let him have it. Almost. In a sense.
Hello?
Hello?
Hello? Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, so yeah, I feel like she is pretty genuine about not about wanting to give away the church because she's probably I think she's just fed up. I think she's really just tired of having to keep fighting for it,
Yeah.
Like so much stuff has just been happening. It's almost like, okay, can we just let this be at this point? Clearly it's not in God's plans for us to have this church. But I also feel like it's kind of both parts because I feel like she does want to run the church for herself.
That's the thing. It's almost like the Greenleafs are playing football. It's like the church is the football, and like everyone who has their hands on it wants to be the person that runs it.
Yeah.
Charity. Bishop, I don't know if I would say Bishop wants to run because Lady May has astounding one-liners, but Bishop just says these lines that will stick to your ribs. Like quote, "It's better to be there when something passes away. If you don't see it happening, there's always a part of you that thinks it might come back. And that's the part that keeps you from seeing what God's going to do next." And I'm like, if that wasn't a word.
Yo. The way you just read that to me it clicked. Like some of these lines, when I hear them, they just kind of go straight over my head. But when someone tells me like you just did, like, oh, well, this person said this. And I'm like, wait, when and what? like that writing just sounds so on point.
It really goes back to the fact that some lines are just written for some people would just take a quote and just I can't, they breathe life into it.
Breathe life into it.
And also a quick Proud Family segue, and I promise not to go on a tangent because I know based on how this interview started, we can do it.
We could do it.
I remember there was an episode of the Proud Family where Penny told her dad, it's like, you know, Dad, it's like one of those times, it's like those moments where you and mommy tell me something that I think is stupid, but when I hear it from someone else, it makes sense.
Yup.
That's how it goes. It's like when somebody's in authority telling you to do something, it doesn't make sense. But if you hear it from a more friendly person, then it makes a lot of sense because you're more willing to listen and accept what they have to say.
Yeah. Yep, exactly.
Yeah, and I have to say that I love the titles for the first 6 episodes. Now, I don't know the titles for episode 7 or 8 yet. I'm pretty sure they'll tell us soon enough. But episodes 1 through 6 are the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and 6th day. And I'm thinking if that's in reference to, you know, the first 6 days of Genesis and then the Lord rested on the 7th, or the walls of Jericho where the Israelites marched around for 7 days and on the 7th day the walls fell. And of course in Greenleaf, it must be a reference to the week before Calvary is demolished for the new H&H.
Mm-hmm. I think it's more of the second one, the walls of Jericho. You'll see how it kind of plays out, but it very much seems to be, from my perspective, more like Jericho. Marching around, trying to get the church back, trying to get Calvary back. We're doing our march now. So I feel like by the 7th episode, y'all are going to see where things kind of end up. And I don't know. It's just, yeah, that makes sense. I didn't even pay attention to the titles of the God. I mean, I need to pay more attention to everything, clearly.
I mean, this
you
is
know
what
more than I do.
Hey, this is what I do for a living, looking for clues and hints. So
yes. No, I love it.
Oh, thank you. I feel like, you know, it just takes me back to the Bible. You know, I remember I was communications major in my undergrad, and then I did seminary in my master's program. And the reason I did that was because I took a bunch of undergraduate classes. Like, you know, I got an associate's, basically lower tier degrees in religion, but advertising and public relation were the basically a marketable degree. And then when I went to graduate school, it was just straight up religion because it was the fact that each class built upon itself. Like you can just reread the same scripture and pull something different out every time.
Yeah.
And it's just so fascinating to do that. So I think that when it comes to Greenleaf, that's what my mom said, Jeremy, because I started speaking in the church when I was 8 years old.
Oh, wow.
So I've been like I'm an introvert by heart, but you know, I'm into public speaking and whatnot. So I've been doing that for about I'm 28 now. Yeah, but more or less 20 years.
Wow, that's wild.
So that's when my mom said, you need to get your butt up and watch Greenleaf. And I'm like, dang it, I should have been watching since season 1.
Yeah, buddy.
But hey, better late than never. Better late than never. We got a spinoff coming. People love the videos I do and the interactions. I know they're going to love this when it goes up on the channel. That's for sure.
They do. They love it.
Yeah.
I'm hyped for you. I think that's awesome. And man, I'm ready for this video to be up. It's
trust me. I'm going to take my time with the editing process and get this, sealed up tight because honestly, several of the Tyler Perry actors from the shows have been asking for a while, like, you know, hey, when are you going to do interviews and whatnot? But my thing was I needed that self-validation to hit 100,000 subscribers first to make it seem like I didn't have to use the crutch of celebrity power to get my channel to that milestone, you know?
Right. No, I feel that. I feel that. But look, now you got celebrities coming to you.
Oh, yeah, shoot. Got that right. When I saw that email, in the past, like I was telling your mother this, I want to say in the past 3 months, there have been 5 cases of people emailing me with their headshots and everything because they literally thought I worked for one of these studios.
That's wild.
Yeah,
I can see that too.
Thanks. When I first got started, because ironically enough, I was a blogger. I blogged my theories. I blogged my reviews. And then from there, I built up the social media around it, the Twitter, the Instagram, the Facebook book, the pages, all of that before the first YouTube video.
That's what I need to be doing. I need to get on YouTube.
And,
Everyone keeps telling me make a channel, but I don't know how to do any of this stuff.
hey, I'm more than happy to give some tips if you like.
Oh, I need them. Yes.
Yeah, that's something we could do. I guess you could say off the record, so to speak. But yeah, we can definitely link up about that.
Let's do that.
Okay, because just a couple more questions and the formal interview will be over. But yeah, we'll definitely continue the conversation because it's just like you were saying before, when you meet like these people who you've seen since you were a kid, it's like one of those things where you have a version of them in your head of who you think they are, but then when you get to know them, it's like, oh, they're people like me. Okay.
Yeah.
Because again, I mean, when I heard that I will be doing a sit down interview with a Greenleaf cast member, I never expected SpongeBob to come up or the Proud Family. It just happened.
Right.
Just happened.
Right.
Okay, well, here's the segue to question number 6, and we kind of touched upon this. With everything going on with COVID-19, I know a lot of production studios are shut down and a lot of projects aren't being made, and that's why, you know, as you were saying about YouTube, a lot of you know, stars have been flocking to social media because, well, it's a good way to interact with the fans who honestly, they're usually too busy to do so because they're filming something or they're recording something. So after everything kind of reopens, if you will, are there any upcoming projects or shows or movies that you hope to work on in the future?
There's a lot of stuff I've hoped to work on. We'll see what happens. But there's a movie I am supposed to be doing called Bumbershoot, or All Hail the Squash Blossom Queen, and I would be the Squash Blossom Queen. Ooh. And I'm really excited about that, but unfortunately it got put off because of the California wildfires. And then they were like, well, we might as well wait till Diego, my co-star, turns 18. And then we waited, and that happened. And then all of a sudden COVID hit, and we haven't been able to shoot it yet. But other than that, what I am actually going to be working on is I'm hosting an online music competition called Star Quest America. Look it up, www.starquestamerica.com. And we're trying to get singers of all genres, all ages to come and join us. And yeah, it's just a singing competition. It's free. You earn cash prizes. So I'm really excited about that, and I think that's going to be fun. But in terms of what I hope to be working on, I would love to book another television show, hopefully as a series regular. And if not, I'm looking forward to doing the spinoff of Greenleaf.
Nice. And don't worry, your link to the music competition and your social media, I'll be sure to put that in the top comment of the video when I post it to YouTube. And that way people will see it as soon as they click on the video. So don't worry, your social media plugs and everything will be right there.
Perfect.
Yeah. And I think I was told you have over 100,000 followers.
Yeah, I have 105 on Instagram right now. Or 106?
106. Okay, 106. And you have the blue verification check mark. I got to shout that out because I love when people get that. It's such a milestone. So I know when I was talking with your mother on a Friday, she was like, you got she has all these followers and I'm telling her to do something with it. So what would you plan to do? I guess, you know, here's something we can talk about briefly in the interview in terms of a potential YouTube channel. Like, you know, do you have like any kind of ideas of what you want that to look like?
Like life vlogs, like what I'm doing every day. Because my life is actually fairly interesting. Like life life vlogs, makeup vlogs, hair vlogs, getting ready vlogs, I guess is what you would call that. Yeah, I mean, vlogs talking about Greenleaf after the fact, maybe, like, just being like, okay, last night recap, but nothing in depth, no theories or anything like that. I'm not trying to steal your job, don't worry.
I think that would be a great way to really let the people know who Desiree is outside of Sophia. And I think that's a great idea, because once the show's over, you don't have to worry about spoilers. You can kind of do a recap, if you will. Like, maybe you can do like, hey, here's like some of my favorite season 1 moments for Sophia, because people have been asking me to do recaps where it's like, hey, go back to episode 1 and like review the show because you've never done it before. And I said that actually isn't a bad idea, because I know well, we kind of were on the same wavelength, because some of the questions I asked you when we had the technical difficulties about like the music and whatnot, and we know about some of the same shows growing up. But have you had any interest at all in like the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
Oh, I would love to be a Marvel character. When I tell you that is like top priority, like need to do in this lifetime, yep.
I don't blame you.
I'm going to be it. I'm going to have it. I'm manifesting this.
I feel like if you get a role in Marvel, it's almost like you're cemented in like pop culture, regardless of whatever role you play, because everyone's going to know your name from that. And
everybody, whether they're calling me Supergirl or whatever, I don't care. Call me what you want. At least you know my face.
Exactly.
Don't forget it.
And the fact I bring up the MCU is the fact that that's kind of what inspired me to do a rewatch of like the haves and the have-nots of Loving You Is Wrong. Go back to the beginning, back when I was blogging and not doing videos, just kind of watch like each week, do like an episode like, hey, I watched episode 3 of the haves and the have-nots. Here's my recap, Greenleaf. And the fun part is, while I'm doing the rewatch, I can bring up things like, oh, see, this scene here actually foreshadowed what happened in season 3, episode 4, or something like that.
Oh, that'd be dope. I should do something like that. We should do something like that. That would be fun.
Yeah, I mean, I'm down for that, because I've honestly, another thing, I've never really done collaborations. I've been more of a solo act kind of, so to speak, and occasionally, let me say this one thing about, and I know you'll relate to this once you get your feet wet in the social media YouTube game. If it's great to have a lot of subscribers and followers, but having a fan base is like the next level, because they will just support you no matter what. Most of the time, like, there are people who dig up articles and videos and clips I never even thought to dig up, and they bring it to me to kind of work with, to mold videos around. So it's not uncommon to have at least 5 to 20 messages a day with people saying, hey, here's a potential theory, or here's an interview that this person did hinting at that. And I think I got at least 7 a day from Greenleaf alone.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, so it almost feels like I'm a detective / news reporter.
You are, basically. That's what they're doing. This is what I'm saying.
Yeah, and I mean, to have a fan base like that. And have you actually done like, Instagram lives ever?
Yeah, I do lives. We should live together.
Okay.
If you do lives, let's do a live.
I love what they did with Instagram. You can actually save the lives to IGTV, and then you can like download the lives as well, and then like post them on the channel. It's amazing how they did that now, because it makes it so much more convenient than only having a live up for like 24 hours.
Yes, but I totally agree. I love lives.
I think that they really show people more of the person rather than the character, and that's why I love doing them, because I can't tell you how long people thought I was Tyler Perry.
Really?
Because I never showed my face. I would just do the voiceover and have the pictures on my videos, and people thought I was Tyler because of how I sounded, and the fact that more often than not. Oh wait, did you just say I sound like him?
You sound similar.
Okay, I was about to say I can't do the Medea voice like that.
Oh yeah, that Medea voice is something else.
That's Tyler to Medea is like what Jaleel White is to Steve Urkel.
Yeah. Yes. I love Medea. It's funny.
Yeah, I loved his early plays more than anything else.
Yeah.
I feel like going back to the early part of the discussion about the hunger. And first of all, the man's work ethic is out of this world.
It really is. I
And
love Tyler Perry.
oh, it's amazing. And I would love to go to, I mean, I know this year they were supposed to open up to the public for touring, but then COVID hit and obviously that kind of screwed things up. But I was going to be like, I don't care what it takes. I will save the money and make the trip down there to just go one time.
Yes.
Because I'll be like, hey, I'm that wacky dude from YouTube who's always writing these elaborate theories out. I just wanted to say I came here and that would be it. But I think some of my favorite things were, like the early plays, like Family Reunion. And speaking of family,
Yeah.
Lynn Whitfield was in the movie version of Family Funeral.
Yeah.
My God.
That was a good one.
Because I think Greenleaf for me, I think I feel like it's a toss because there are people who say Greenleaf is the best show. And no, I'm not asking to make you choose a favorite, but in terms of like my viewers, they say Greenleaf is the best show. The haves and the have-nots is the best show. It's a hard pick for me.
I haven't seen too much of the have and the have-nots, to be honest. I'm not really like too much of a TV watcher. I watch because I don't have cable in my place. Except, well, okay, that's a confusing story because my parents stay upstairs and I stay downstairs, but my parents have cable and I don't where I'm staying. And
you stayed downstairs, your parents stayed upstairs, and that's how your cable is kind of wonky?
Yeah, so if I want to watch TV, I have to be like outside of my place. Like, so basically I have an apartment on the bottom level of my house.
Oh.
Parents stay on the third floor, but in the bottom there isn't any cable. Now the only cable is upstairs, so the only time I watch TV is when I'm sitting with my family upstairs. And other than that, when Greenleaf comes on. So unless it's on like Hulu or Netflix, which I really don't even watch that much, I'm not really like in the know about stuff. Mostly the only thing I watch on cable is Greenleaf.
I feel the same. I feel the same way. I have cable mainly because it's part of the Xfinity pack I have and I can't get rid of it to lower the price, which kind of sucks, but oh well. But really, because people ask me all the time, because I can't tell you how many times people have said, hey, can you review Empire? Can you review How to Get Away with Murder? Can you review this? Can you review that? It's difficult for me because like I said before, I'm an incredibly overthinker. And if you just browse through my channel, there's over 3,500 videos on the channel.
That's wild. You've done so much.
In like 2 years, yes, my brain is like all over the place. So when I'm not watching something that I review, it has to be something that's less stimulating for my mind, so to speak. So it's nearly impossible for me to watch something without trying to guess what's going to happen next.
Yeah, I feel that. That's how your mind works. I mean, my mind is wired to memorize everything, study eye movements, study the way people give certain looks, study this, that, or the other. Well, other people's jobs are like yours, where you have to guess theories and like everyone is watching for a different purpose, is what I'm trying to say for the most part. Everyone's watching with a different purpose, and when I watch, I get something completely different out of it from like what you might watch. And we both might get something different out of it from what someone else watches.
Exactly.
And it's wild the way that works.
And like you were saying about the body language, that was another thing they taught us in, communications, was the importance of eye contact when you're speaking to other people, watching how the body moves, your jargon, like your way of speaking, like what words you use, and also like how color correlates with an emotion. Like I'll never forget. I mean, as a guy, I don't really know a lot about, okay, I love blue. Blue's my favorite color. But then they branched out with like teal and then all these other colors. Like, whoa, wait, what's going on here? So they broke down how each color affects emotion. So I can completely relate to you when it comes to memorizing things, because I have to remember, like, okay, we're in season 7 of the Haves and the Have-Nots now, and then there are like story beats from season 2 that came out of like 2014, and I have to remember all that stuff. And that's how people became drawn to the channel, because anyone can do reviews, anyone can do reactions, but the thing that kind of set me apart was the fact that I was looking beyond what episode came on last week. I was trying to see where the show is going. But with Greenleaf, I will say this much, and in terms of like the debate of which show is better, I would say Greenleaf, in terms of pacing, I would say trumps the Haves and the Have-Nots, because it doesn't feel like there's a wasted moment in an episode of Greenleaf.
Yeah, no.
I feel like it's just tightly.
No time. We waste no time.
Oh, I could tell. I mean, not to mention, I was shocked because I remember when season 4 had their mid-season finale, and it ended with Grace and the young man at the grave, and people were like, "Whoa, 10 episodes! That season was short." And then a lot of cast members and people from behind the scenes went online, like, "Hey, don't worry, there's 8 more episodes," and we're like, "Okay, the back half will come back." But then we got the announcement, Greenleaf is coming back. Season 4, I guess I'm like, okay, they'll probably, I know the COVID thing probably threw things out of whack, because I was under the impression, yeah, they'll probably announce season 5 and then they'll start filming in the fall or something. But then they're like, see, the Greenleaf is returning for the final season. I'm like, wait, what?
How did they manage that? Okay, so let me just tell you. Basically what happened was we filmed 18 episodes all together, and they decided to split it into 2 seasons.
Ooh.
So basically we shot it all together as one season, which was from January to, I think, almost August of 2019.
Oh, dang.
So yeah, so we shot a lot for a while. Like, I think we ended late July last year. And then everything was in post, being edited, and then finally, what happened was they're like, "Hey, we're gonna be splitting the season into 2." Originally, we thought 18 episodes was all gonna be season 4. So, you know, automatically, as soon as they said we're splitting them into 2, I'm thinking, okay, hold up, wait, where's my pay raise?
I don't blame you. Get that paper.
Every season, you know, it's kind of the same situation as when Gabrielle Union was doing Being Mary Jane. You know, when she sued them?
Yeah, and that was on BET, correct?
BET, I think.
Okay.
But so, like, basically, I guess I could see why she would complain, but none of us Greenleafs really care that much about the money. It's more about, like, the work. So it's like we really couldn't care less. We just want to be with each other and be working and all of that good stuff. But yeah, I think it threw everybody off, and they're like, "We're turning it into 2 seasons." We were like, "What? Where did that come from?" Okay, cool.
Yeah. And another thing, kind of bouncing off that, I was a little upset that, and look, I'm old school. Again, I'm only 28, but at the same time, I consider myself an old man at heart in terms of how I think and do things.
I feel that.
Oh, you feel the same?
I'm like, not that I'm necessarily old school. I'm kind of like new school, but I'm also kind of like very old-headed, like old mentality. Like,
oh, bad. An old soul, an old spirit. That's the expression. That's what it is. That's what it is.
I have an old soul.
I love the physical copy. I know we live in a day of digital and streaming, but I love a good DVD or Blu-ray set that has a ton of behind-the-scenes features and extras.
Yes.
And when I saw that they only put Greenleaf season 1 out, I was like, what?
Right.
Because I know it's on Netflix. I know people last week, "Jeremy, you going to binge it?" First of all, I've already binged the series because I had to before season 4, because my mom was doing everything but knocking me upside the head to say, "Boy, you need to watch the show." So I'm like, fine, I will binge it. And I wanted just the experience to just watch it at a slow pace, hence why I'm doing the rewatch, which I think I will start once season 5 is over. That makes the most sense to me. That way I can fully focus on the season we're in right now. But I guess my other question is, because I love talking with people from behind the scenes, because I just learn things I didn't know. Because again, I'm a fan, but then I go in depth, but then there are a lot of things from behind the scenes I'm not privy to. I wonder, when they decided to do the split, at that time, did they think, oh, you know what? In these 8 episodes we have, there's enough to pull from to do a spinoff? That's what I'm looking for.
They might have thought that. Honestly, I think Greenleaf stopped filming and all of us were really upset. Like, I was really upset that everything ended. And I didn't know how long I was going to have to hold that in. But it's nice not having, like, being able to say that out loud. But, yeah, that's a really sad moment for me. And I think all of us, like me and Lovey, have been talking about spinoffs since season 3. They said once we get to season 5, maybe we can talk about it. And we were like, okay. Like, then we're waiting till season 5. And I think after season 5 is when you're able to start doing spinoffs. So I think they decided to split it, maybe knowing that there was going to be a spinoff. Maybe not, but I think once they saw all the backlash from everybody being like, no, this is it, this is over, oh my God, that's so wild, that's crazy. You know, I feel like they were like, okay, well, it's one of our top rated shows. It's our first scripted TV show from OWN. Oprah's first scripted TV show on OWN.
That's right. That's right, because The Haves and the Have-Nots was Tyler Perry's first scripted show, and then Greenleaf was like Oprah's baby. That was like her thing. Yeah.
Greenleaf is Oprah's baby, and that's exactly what she calls it. And so basically, I think when everyone just started realizing that it's going to be over, they're like, oh shoot, we can't end this. We have so many fans, so many followers, so many people that love us. Now, question, I might have to hop off in a second, but is there anything else that we need to get to?
Those were all the questions, and I had several things I wanted to address about said spinoff, because
we can get into that just a little bit.
Yeah, your doggy play date. The last thing I want to do is deprive your pooch of that. Because of the fact that I didn't know we would just go on, like, even without the tech issue, I just did not think we could talk this long, because there's so much to break up. And let me put it this way. On my channel, they always talk about, Jeremy, do you think Tyler could cross this show over and that show over? And I've done a bunch of crossovers and what ifs and all that kind of stuff. I would love to do some kind of like video with you, whether it's like either a Zoom or if we're doing an Instagram live, and then I record it and then put it on the channel, because just to confirm, you know nothing of the spinoff, correct?
Yeah, I know nothing. They don't even know anything really yet. Last time I talked to anybody, they basically just said they're still conceptualizing it and trying to figure out what it's going to be about.
Okay, perfect. Because what I was going to say is I think I've done a couple of videos just kind of thinking out loud, like, you know, what a spinoff could look like. And I think at the moment, the one thing I think that could be the spinoff fuel, which could be debunked by like episode 8, I don't know, is the fact that Bishop is showing May, what was it called, like Mavis's Club or something, that could be like the church. At the moment, the new spinoff series seems like it could focus on the Greenleafs going in a new direction with the church, or they could get Calvary back. I don't know. But if you would like to link up at some point to do like a video or something where we kind of like brainstorm ideas of what a spinoff could look like, that would be cool.
We could do that. We could definitely set that up for a later date. Did you?
Great.
Oh, sorry, my mom was coming downstairs.
Oh, no, that's fine. But let me just say, this has been an honor and a blast. Despite the tech issues, this was a good time.
It was a good time. I'm so glad I got to talk with you. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. But and I will say that hopefully this first interview will be the beginning of many more, with not just you but other cast members from other shows, because like I said, I'm going to edit this, get it all together, make it look nice, and I'm going to post it either on Tuesday or no later than Wednesday. It's going to be up the day of the episode too, or it's going to be up the day right after it.
Yay! It's going to be great. It's going to be wild. It's going to be amazing. I'm so hyped.
Oh, yeah.
I am ready.
Same here. And I guess the last thing I would need from you to do is to either, email me if you could, just links to like the music competition, any social media or web. Look, this is about, well, I mean, obviously it's on my channel, but this is about promoting not just Greenleaf, but yourself. So don't be afraid to send me whatever you want the viewers to know about and what to follow. I'll be sure to I'll share the video on all my social media links and as well as tag you and stuff to help you get even more traffic.
Oh, that would be great. I will send you all of my links. I'll send them from my mom's email and get that. Yeah, I'll get that to you.
Sounds good. All right. Well, anything else before we close shop here?
No, I think that was great. I think that was perfect. It was everything it needed to be. We got a lot out the way. And you know what? I cannot wait to collaborate or talk with you again. And I'm excited. So we have to keep in touch.
All right. And I follow you on Instagram already, and I added you to my contacts here. And if there's any other social media that you share with me, I'll be sure to follow you on those platforms. But this was a treat. I look forward to collaborating with you again in the future. And I'll send you a link to the video as well once it's all done.
Yes, and send me the link, or tell me what's your Instagram.
Instagram is going to be the HAHN. So it's THEHAHN.
Got you. Followed back.
There we
The
go.
Having or Have Nots reviews. Gotcha. Great. Perfect. Okay, well, I cannot. My mom wants to say goodbye to you too.
Oh, okay.
Hey, I'm right here. Just wanted to say thanks, and I'm glad you two got a chance to work together. So
yeah, I'm so happy about it.
Oh, thanks for reaching out to make this happen.
Yes.
hey.
Great. Well, y'all take care, and I'll talk to y'all soon.
Talk to you soon. Keep up with you.
Bye.
Bye.
All of that time trying to show him what having a real family is.
You're his mom.
There's a lot of resentment towards Grace because this is also something that Sophia's been missing out on, having a whole entire relationship with her brother.
Sophia.
But as with any relationship, there is always more things to be said and more things to be done. So we'll see how it ends up.
All right, everyone. Thanks so much for making it to the end of the interview. Thank you so much again to the wonderful Brooke Ross for arranging this interview. And thank you so much, Desiree, for having the conversation with me. I know this was something that I will definitely cherish in terms of my time on this YouTube channel. I mean, again, guys, just remember the days where I was just blogging, tweeting, and just doing my reviews, but to actually have the opportunity to speak with one of the many talented actors who I talk about in theory videos and reviews, to actually get to know them more as a person, you know, how they got started in their careers and where they hope to go in the future. This is something I'm definitely going to cherish. So like I said before, I hope this interview is the start of many more to come. And if you haven't done so already, I'd highly recommend checking out Greenleaf. The first 3 seasons are available on Netflix. Oh, excuse me, the first 4 seasons are available on Netflix. There are 6 episodes remaining at the time of this recording of season 5. And then the spinoff hasn't been, I guess you could say, officially announced in terms of when it's going to be coming to our TV screens, but to know that a spinoff is coming is good enough for me. Hopefully it's something we'll be able to tune into maybe during the fall of 2021. And as I mentioned before at the beginning of the video, links to all of Desiree's social media will be in the top comment below. So just go down to the comment section. I will have pinned it to the top, her Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, as well as a link to her musical competition. I'd say if you have any talent for singing, why not go for it? And also, if you would like to follow me on social media, links to all my different social media platforms are in the description box below. And thanks so much everyone who encouraged me to start watching Greenleaf, because literally if I never started to watch Greenleaf and never did any sort of videos about the series, this interview will most likely not happen. And to round things out, keep your eyes peeled. I do have my Greenleaf Season 5 Episode 2 review, the second day, coming later today. And with that being said, once again, thanks so much for tuning in. Give this video a thumbs up, share it around. Make sure you comment below what was your favorite part of the interview. Is there anyone in particular who you would like to see me interview next? Because this really inspired me to move forward with getting to know the people a bit more instead of just doing videos about their characters. This was great. And shout out to the patrons over on Patreon. Thank you so much for supporting me on there. If you would like to join, there's a link to my Patreon in the description. You can join for as little as $1 a month. And if you would like to make any sort of donation to the channel, which is not mandatory, because trust and believe, you watching this video helps me in more ways than you can imagine, feel free to donate on PayPal or Cash App. And with that being said, I hope everyone has a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you all in the next video.